Hello, witches. Hello, hello. I have no problems this time. Phew, thank goodness. This is Mercury Retrograde. That's what we're going to be talking about. Because with Mercury Retrograde, anything's possible. Anything. We're talking communication. Okay? So let's talk about Mercury Retrograde, shall we? Because everybody knows about it. Nobody really knows exactly what it's all about, though. Okay? So if we look at Mercury retrograde, you'll hear about it. Mercury, the planet Mercury is all about communication. Okay, and when Mercury goes into retrograde, so what they're talking about with retrograde is that if Mercury goes into retrograde, it is like it's going backwards. So it's not actually going backwards. It's kind of like it's a standstill. So the Earth and Mercury are going at the same pace that it actually appears that it's going backwards. Okay. So because it's the communication planet, anything to do with, let's say, traveling, electronics, communication, anything to do with that. Okay. It's not that you shouldn't do it. It's more like be very cautious because life still goes on. So I mean, if you're let's say you're buying a house and you have to buy a house, okay? It's not saying that you can't. It's just saying make sure your I's are dotted, sure your T's are crossed, make sure that all the paperwork's good before you even go further. Because there's a possibility that something's amok. Okay, so for this Mercury retrograde, we're in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, okay? And Pisces is also about the emotions. Because it's a water sign, it's about emotions, but it's also about like Pisces is a dreamer. They're the ones in the clouds. Aquarius is there too, don't get me wrong, but Pisces, they're the daydreamers of the zodiac. So when you have an emotional water sign like Pisces coming through with Mercury retrograde, things can be a little bit more emotional. And I'm going to say that lightly because one moment you're going to feel maybe fine, and then the next moment you are going to feel like something, like a whack of emotions just hit you. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? You're okay. I'm telling you this right now. You're okay. There's a few things that could be happening. Okay. You could be an empath and you're just sensitive to the emotions to begin with. Okay. You could be really feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde. And if you are an empath, you will. Okay. But you put all of that together and depending on what zodiac sign you are, okay, can come into play. But just understand that these emotions might not necessarily know, like they might not necessarily affect you full on, okay, but that depends on how you handle it. You don't need to be in chaos, okay? Just because it's Mercury retrograde, don't already think, oh my God, Mercury retrograde's coming up, so everything's going to be amok. Well, now you're setting yourself up for it. What you want to do is you want to be aware of it. You want to know that, okay, yeah, it's Mercury retrograde, so I got to pay more attention. I've got to, if I have an appointment, double check your alarm. Maybe make an alarm with your Alexa or your Siri, and then make sure that you put it on your phone. You're going to want to double check things. Okay. Now you can do things that can help with it. Okay. And I will admit, yesterday I got a little nostalgic a little bit and then started getting a little, I don't want to say weepy, but it kind of affected me in a few little ways. And I reminded myself that this was just an emotion that was coming through. It wasn't a big deal. And I breathed through it and hydrated myself and reminded myself that um, this too shall pass. Okay. But not everybody is like that. Okay. My realization has come with a lot of my own inner work and a lot of my own practice that I do on a regular basis to keep myself clean and clear of the emotional debris, the psychic debris that can come at me because I am extremely sensitive. And if I don't take those measures, yeah, I'm an emotional wreck. And nobody wants to be constantly around an emotional wreck, right? So you can you you can wear crystals. I wear my spell charm pendants that I've made around my neck during this time. I've got my moon ring with my moonstone in it. Okay. I've got my pentagram around my neck. But you can get different. I brought out a whole bunch of different things so that I can show you. So, for instance, I've got fluorite. Okay. You can get it as a bracelet. Now, fluorite, I always forget, is is the distressor. Okay. It also enhances memory. Okay. So this will help with your memory. Okay. But you can use other crystals too. Okay. You got howlite, which is good for balancing your emotions. Okay. Your black stones. So your hematite, your jet. I've got jet here. I got obsidian. I've got my hematite here. They are all great stones for balancing. Now, I actually have my hematite is that has a little bit of a notch in it. You can see it, right? And it's actually considered a worry stone. And anytime I feel the need to grab onto something, I always grab onto this one because it helps me relax. And it's the way that it feels in my hand when I'm rubbing it. Okay. But these are great ways to naturally help ground yourself. But you can take it in by eating. Okay. So, for instance, your root vegetables to ground yourself a little bit more to keep yourself in your body. You're going to want your potatoes, your carrots, your squashes, um, more of stuff like that. Heavier foods to keep you more grounded. The lighter foods are going to keep you light, right? Um, don't keep it too heavy, okay? And I say that in the sense of to process your food. So it's easier to process your fruits and vegetables versus, let's say, a meat. Okay, so use a root vegetable to ground yourself. Okay, you can even if you're not into the veggies, grab some strawberries. They're red. Okay, red also is like red. It represents your root chakra. Okay, so you can grab a whole bunch of root type vegetables, root type fruits. You can use crystals. You can also use essential oils. Okay, so your grounding essential oils that you can use are patchouli, cedarwood, sandalwood is one of my favorites. Okay, I just love the smell. But yeah, frankincense actually you can use on both. You can use either your crown chakra, okay, to bring you clarity, but you can also use frankincense to ground yourself too. Okay, so it's kind of a double whammy. So if you got frankincense, you can rub it on the bottom of your feet. Now, some oils, just so you guys know, okay, cannot be applied neat. Okay, some of them actually have to be applied in an oil base or like something to mix with because they can cause some irritation. Okay, if that's the case, you can test it on a little spot. But I use my moisturizer. Like if I have a cream that I put on at nighttime or during the day, and I want that scent on me that can help ground and protect me as I'm going out into the real world, you can put it in your moisturizer. Okay, just be careful of what moisturizer you put on your face, but frankincense is actually amazing for your face. Add it with a little bit of orange essential oil. Oh, and they have amazing healing properties too. So they actually heal with um, your crow's feet and stuff like that around your eyes. Um, but it smell, oh, I love the smell of frankincense and orange together. I actually took a class years ago of making body butters and stuff like that. And so I learned a little bit of my essential oils in that class too, of what smells good together. Sometimes it's just trial and error. Um, but you can use, let's say for your chakras, just to keep yourself in balance. I've got, you can write this down too if you want to. Grounding is your cedarwood or your patchouli. Okay. Your heart, you can use, is to help balance your emotions. Okay. You can use rose or ylang ylang or bergamot. Okay. Relaxing, you can use something to relax distress. Okay. Is your chamomile. You can even have chamomile tea. Okay. Or lavender. Okay. For mental clarity, like I said, frankincense. These are all little things that you can do to help um, keep you stabilized in Mercury retrograde. Now, some of the things that you don't want to do during Mercury retrograde, okay, and I've written them down. You might want to write these down too. Yes, Tony, Lang Lang, freaking beautiful smell. It really, really opens up your heart chakra. Hello, everybody. I'm just coming in to say hi. Hello, Tara Lynn. Hello, Tanya. Miranda. Hello, hello. Nice to see you guys here. If I'm missing anybody, I know Timothy usually comes on too, but I can't see him. He's had problems in the past, but we won't worry about that. He can always catch the replays. But one thing you're going to want to do, especially because it's in the sign of Pisces, don't take things personally. Okay, it's one of the hardest things to do is don't take things personally. These emotions are really high right now. There is so many changes that are going on in the on this planet right now. The universe, like collectively, so many things are going on. Okay, and we are rising up. If you guys are working on rising yourself up to a 5D reality, we are getting there, but we're healing. We have to do healing as we go. Okay. We can only live so much in a 5D reality in a 3D world because not everybody's there. Okay. So there are things that you're just going to want to ground yourself, take control. Okay. This is, you don't need to let your emotions run high. If your emotions come in, recognize them, honor them, ask yourself, are these actually my feelings? Because sometimes these aren't even your feelings. Okay. Sometimes there's somebody else's that you're picking up. And if they're not, if they just came out of nowhere, let them go. They're not yours. You don't need to carry them. And I know that's a lot easier said than done. I get it because I've done it myself too, especially when you're an empath. But I'm going to tell you right now, your trick is to cut your cords. Cut your cords, ground and protect your energy. If you don't know how to do that, I have a video on learning how to cut cords, grounding, and protection from energy vampires, all that. Okay. It's this easy thing that I do first thing in the morning when I get in the shower. Okay. I cut my cords. I surround myself with white light in a bubble. I do all that to visualize myself before I even step foot out of this house because I'm not sensitive. Tanya, you've been crying, huh? Yeah, we're all, you know what? If it happens, let it happen. Okay? It is, remember, crying is a form of release. Don't ever be embarrassed about that. It's a form of release, especially because we're such sensitive souls. Okay? And if you are a practicing witch, okay, like myself, okay, then you understand the depths of healing that a witch does. Okay, we get right into the nitty gritty, dirty corners and we get in there. Okay, so our mission, our what we're here for, that's why there's such a rise of witches right now, is because we are resurrecting. See, I just got shivers just thinking of that. We are resurrecting. That's because we have a higher calling. And the only way that we can get to this higher calling is if we actually do the work and move forward. And Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year. Okay. This year it happened in the air sign of Aquarius, the air sign of Gemini, and then the air sign of Libra. Okay. Right now we are and I know that can sound confusing. Okay. We're in the moon sign of Pisces. We're in the sign of Libra though, right now. Okay. So if that makes it a little easier. But right now, this moon has been, and the full moon on top of this. And we've got Neptune and Jupiter that's going on right now, too. So when all these planets are aligning, okay, it's no wonder we're like all over the place. Honor it. Honestly, if you need to cry, belt it out. Throw on the sappy tunes and get it out. What do you need to heal? One person I'd love to listen to when I need to heal is India Ari. Her medicine album. It's amazing. If you guys are looking to heal, she hits those areas, those trigger areas. And if you're really looking to go deep, do it. Okay. But please remind yourself that we are in Mercury retrograde. We are just finished the full moon. We're still in the effect of the full moon. Okay. Like it's about 3 days. Okay. 3 days before and 3 days after the full moon, we feel that effect. Okay. So when we feel that and we have the Mercury retrograde on top, guess what's feeling? Guess what's going on? The feelings, the emotions. Because remember, the moon is about emotions. But we're also in a 9 month. And I've talked about this a little bit on my page and I think in some of my videos already. But when we're in a 9 month, it's about completion. So there might be some stuff that's coming up that you weren't expecting, like some old stuff that you're like, oh my God, why is this coming up? It's because you're meant to it's coming up for a reason. It wants its last attempt to let go and release that pain. Okay. And no Mercury retrograde is going to be easy. Okay. I thought I was going into, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a breeze. And then I had a couple of hours of little cry time or whatever. Not as bad as what I usually am. Okay. But it also depends on what I'm working through for healing. Okay. But I never shame myself for doing it. I remind myself that I'm very grateful for the ability to be able to express my feelings and that I'm not shy enough to express that to myself and that I don't hold it in. Okay. Now, some of the things that you're not going to want to do, don't get yourself drunk and call your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, because that's not going to work. Okay. Try not to do that. Back up your data. So if you got things that you need to, like if you're studying for a test or you're writing an exam or you're writing something like a paper or whatever, make sure you back up your stuff. Because I don't know how many times that I've been writing. I don't know how many times I have written articles where I've been almost done and I haven't saved it along the way. And then all of a sudden I would lose everything and I'd be like, oh. And to try to remember. Now it always happens that I write better than what I did the first time. Always does. Always does. So I then look at it going, oh, okay. So Mercury retrograde's not that bad. Yes, it might have delayed me and set me off and I got to do all of this all over again. But it really did bring out the best in me because now I recognize that something's going on and now I have to remind myself that I got to pay attention and I focus and then it brings that out of me a little bit. Okay. So don't take things personally. Try not to um, make plans that you can't keep. Like avoid doing that. If you know that you're not sure, say no, or just say, you know what, I'm gonna have to let you know right now, there's a few things that are tentatively, coming up, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me get back to you on that. Give yourself some time. Think it through. Do you really want to do that? Right? Now, if you do, then go ahead. There's nothing stopping you, okay? But if you don't want to do that and you want to buy yourself some time, or you're not sure if you want to do it, buy yourself some time by saying, you know what, I'm going to have to think about it. There's nothing wrong with saying that. You might irk a few people by, well, I need to have an answer now. I can't give you an answer now. My answer now would be no, or you give me some time and I'll let you know. Don't be afraid of doing that. Okay. Now, one thing that can be really, really good with all of this is you might actually start finishing some of the stuff that you started to begin with. Like I said, those old things that were in the past that might be coming up might be projects too. They might be art projects that you had. They might be things that you've had on the back burner for a long time. Maybe you're writing something. But again, if you are, just make sure you proofread. Make sure you don't send anything. Just write it out first before you go to put it in an email to send it to somebody that you think that you need to send it to, that you maybe should think twice about. Those are the things that this is what this is telling you. Don't think that Mercury retrograde is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay? But it can affect us. Okay? It can affect us if we're not grounding ourselves and protecting ourselves from the energy that is around us because it's heightened. Because remember, it's not just your energy that you're picking up other people's energy and everybody that's passing by, especially if you're an empath. If you're a healer, if you're a witch, if you're already doing those spiritual things to begin with, then you're going to already feel that. So there's no point on resisting. That's what makes it kind of worse. We have such a resistance from healing. I find so many people say that they want to heal, but then when you get to it, it's the crying part. It's learning how to cope with it. So many of us weren't taught how to cope. And we're afraid of our feelings because we were taught not to express or feel our feelings. We were taught to suppress all this stuff. It's not healthy. I'm telling you that as a spiritual healer, I've done it myself. I used to suppress everything because I thought it was better for me to keep the peace. I didn't want to start anything. I didn't want to start any fights. I didn't want to cause any conflict until I started really finding that it was a conflict in myself. Because now I was getting upset because these things were starting to really get on me, how I would see people being treated or whatever. I don't like seeing people treated with disrespect, whether or not it's from your family or whether or not it's from a friend or whether nobody needs to put up with that stuff. Now, be honest with yourself. Are you being a dick in return? If you are, then they might have a reason to be, getting back at you in a sense, right? But if there's nothing there and you're being treated like garbage, that just tells me that that's just the universe showing you to get out. And I know it's not always easier. It's always easier said than done, right? But learning to empower yourself before Mercury retrograde hits. Wear your crystals. Do your tarot cards. Ask yourself, look for yourself for your own guidance. This doesn't need to be a scary transition. Full moon, new moon, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, whatever is in retrograde, it doesn't need to be scary. You just need to recognize some of the extra steps that you need to take in order for you to make sure that this is smooth sailing. So before you leave the house, double check that you've got your purse, your wallet. Believe me, I've done it myself. I've got a friend that can tell you that. Done it twice, 2 or 3 times with her, there and back, forgetting my purse because it was not something that I was used to remembering to take with me for some reason, and I would constantly forget. So now it's like, okay, you got everything? Because I learned the last time when I did it twice. So now I make sure, okay, Sin, do I have everything? Yeah. Got my keys? Yeah. Got my wallet? Yeah. Did I miss the kids? Are the kids coming with me? Are they staying behind? Nah, whatever. Think twice. That's all you have to do. Okay. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush to get somewhere. That will cause accidents when you are in a rushed mind. Okay. Because you will get there in the exact time that you need to get to work, for instance. Okay. This is work that you're going to. So don't rush. Oh my God, I got up late because of Mercury Retrograde. Guess what? You're going to be late. Whether or not you're 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour, you're late. Okay. So don't get into an accident doing it. Okay. Be smart about it. There's nothing telling you that you have to, throw on some tunes, enjoy yourself. Don't put anything on that's going to throw you into meditation and you like go into la la land and you fall asleep on your way to work. No, throw on something that you like that's got a good beat that puts you in the mood. If you're listening to a station that doesn't put you in a good mood, change it. Hello, change it. Nothing's stopping you from doing it except yourself. Okay? So, like I said, don't take things personally. Back up your data. Don't purchase anything. Don't, anything major unless you have to. And if then, double check everything. Okay? Read this, yeah, read the small print, you know, um, finish things that you started. Yeah, double check. I'm just writing down kind of the same thing. I'm just making sure that I haven't forgotten anything to tell you guys. And like I said, crystals, wear them in your bra, ladies, if you wish. That can be uncomfortable and you might get it all sweaty and might not make any sense, but you can wear them pendants. For instance, my kids bought me this beautiful, beautiful amethyst. I don't know if you can see it. It's an amethyst moon pendant. Well, that helps me keep at peace. Okay. Or I've got my argon. It's a black tourmaline and argon. Okay. That helps me keep me grounded. Okay. The spell charms that I have around here that I make and sell as well, okay, are all for, I've got one for empowerment. I've got one for, I'm not wearing the one for protection, but I am wearing the one for money. And I've got a money one, empowerment one, and healing one, okay? Wear the stuff that you have and tell yourself. Don't go in saying, oh my God, I wonder if I'm going to have a bad day. No. Start off your day by saying, I'm going to have a great day. Okay? I'm going to have a silly day. I'm going to have a fun day. I'm going to have an exciting day. Today, I'm going to meet some new people and then go meet some new people. Just say hi. It can be out of Timmy's. Doesn't mean you have to exchange numbers or anything, but just be friendly. Do your thing. Okay? But try not to take things so seriously. That's the hardest thing during Mercury retrograde is taking things so seriously. Remember, everybody's emotions are up. As long as you know that, you'll make some sense out of yourself. Okay? That's all that I have for you today. I'm keeping it a lot shorter than I usually do. I can talk for hours about this stuff, guys. You know me, okay? If you don't know me yet, you're going to, because I'm like this, okay? But take it one step at a time, okay? Nothing is that important to rush to. Nothing is that important to rush through, okay? breathe, ground. Okay, those are your biggest things for you to do. But don't project. Don't take it out on everybody else when you're responsible for your own self. Start empowering yourself by doing it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to leave you at that. I will see you next Monday for how we raise our energy for spell work, and we'll chat then. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And if you are seeing me for the first time and you want to join my group on Facebook, there's a little click on the main page. Just press it. It'll take you straight to my page. Okay. So I'll see you guys later next Monday. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.